live from the fashion capital of the world. It's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess
still say
maybe
that?
Paris,
All right.
Milan, where all the shoes. Anyway, hi,
The wearable
everybody.
fashion.
The wearable electronics capital of the world.
I gotta add that.
Right here. Welcome to the show. It's August 20th. We're back for another live episode of Wearable Electronics with me, Becky Stern, and Phil, Mr. Lady 8 himself. What's on today's show?
Well, on today's show, we're gonna have What Are You Wearing? A new segment that we really like now.
It's fashion oriented.
Wearable Wednesday.
We're going to show you all cool customer projects, things going on, news, and debut a new project. Video.
Component of the week.
It's a battery today. Can you guess? If you can guess what battery, guess what battery now.
All right. Material spotlight.
We show you a material and what it's used for and why we think it's neat. This week it's something new in the store.
And questions and answers. You got questions? Becky has answers.
If you have questions during the show, you can post them up in the comments or on the blog or Twitter or Google+, and I will round them up for next week or the week after. And if you get your question answered on the show, you will be eligible to win today's giveaway.
This is a Flora.
This is a Flora.
All that and more on, you guessed it, you're still here. Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Thank you for joining us.
So, celebrating a year of doing the show. That was
One
our
year of Wearable Electronics with me, Becky Stern.
Yeah.
We started in August and now it's still August.
Yeah.
You can go back and watch all of the episodes in the playlist.
Some quick stuff. The code is back to school.
We have to start now. Phil makes me run the code through the test to make sure we haven't used it before with make sure it still works, because I'm sure we did back to school last year too.
Yeah, a million years ago when we first started doing Ask an Engineer, I would set the code to only be able to use the code once. But we had so many Ask an Engineer shows that I think, oh no, did I have it back to school? So we always make sure we test it now.
Yeah, we test the code for maximum discountedness.
Yeah. Okay. So the first segment this week.
We do this segment.
Yeah.
Up front to titillate you and.
Yeah. What are you wearing?
Show you some kind of crazy. The slide covers so that Phil has time to get it on, and then I'll click the thing because you can't see.
Yeah. Well,
Phil, what are you wearing?
Well, this year, this is from Prada. And it's their new sunglasses now.
The fall 2014 collection.
So this is from famous design team, Noah and Pedro Ruiz in Florida. And this is from the 3D printing project. This is the DIY Oculus Rift. And
so it's part of their fall and winter collection.
Yeah.
Of 3D printed fashion.
And what's kind of cool about this is they did a multi-type print. So this is hard plastic, and then it's Ninja Flex, and it seamlessly goes through the two. They
stopped the print and changed the filament, and then it adheres by itself. And then what are the components in there? You've got one of the high resolution displays.
Yeah.
And
got a sensor, got an Arduino
micro.
Yeah.
And a 9DOF sensor, so you can do head position tracking.
Yep.
Like the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So
I like the way they make you look like Doc Brown.
Available on learn.adafruit.com.
Yep.
And all you need is a 21 gigawatt power supply. Yeah. We have the power supply.
And a 3D printer.
Yeah, a 3D printer. That's all.
But it's got the display, and so it's really cool.
Marty. Yeah. Okay.
I'm wearing the VU meter hat, which I will now place your questions inside for the giveaway later.
Okay. All right. Well.
That was what are you wearing?
Yeah, that's what you're wearing. All right. Next up. Wearable Wednesday.
All right, well, so there's some news. The Gemma Hats Off Challenge is off to its start now. We have selected the 10 competitors who had their parts sponsored. They all got a Gemma sensor pack to build their proposed projects. We had about 80 proposals in total, and we selected 10 to follow on 10 of our favorites to follow on the Element 14 wearable technology community. And we're running this contest together. It's really fun. I'll tell you who the finalists are. Jordan and his dad, Todd Cowley, from the U.S. are building an Iron Man helmet. Tyler Crumpton in the USA is building a Sherlock Holmes case cap with crime-solving accessories. Gladys Delgado Garst, I don't know how to say her name, from the USA, is building umbrella hats for Doggy and Me hats.
Okay.
Barbara Eldridge from the US, she's in New York actually, is building a jaunty fascinator. Miles Flavel from Australia is making a hat that tips itself. Lori Griffiths from the USA is working on a Mardi Gras mask. Reed Morse in the USA is making a furry hood with NeoPixel eyes.
Okay.
Carl Penny in Canada is making a costume gas mask, donning it with Gemma and NeoPixels. Claire Price is going to make an Easter bonnet. I think those are a nice pair.
Yeah.
together. And Lauren Smith in South Africa is making a music festival, party time, dance music, and headlamp.
And so they applied with these ideas. They got
Yeah.
stuff sent to them.
Yeah.
I saw an unboxing video
Yep.
on the
On the Element 14 community, and we
yeah,
put it on our
and the
blog.
blog today.
Yeah.
And then they're going to make these, and then what happens at the end? A group of people decide which ones are the best?
Yep. I mean, yeah, there's one grand prize winner.
Okay.
I think they're all winners because they won parts, and they get to.
They already won some of this.
Yeah, and so and we'll be helping them out with their projects as they blog every week on the Element 14 Wearable Technology Group to follow their build process and see how they document their projects, both with videos, photos, and text. So, and then the end of the contest is Halloween, the end of October. So after that, we'll judge them. And one of these 10 competitors will win an Oculus Rift from Element 14, and we're going to give them a complete Flora collection pack, which is basically like a Flora and everything that could possibly go with it.
The Criterion collection.
The Criterion collection of Flora.
All right. Big prizes. Big ideas. This is good.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing these builds. We picked, a lot of people suggested like very utilitarian things that we didn't, that weren't selected, like hard hat and firefighter headlamps and emergency lights and stuff like that. And we're really going for the like maximum creativity. Is one of the judging criteria is creativity and seeing something that we've never seen before. So if it was even remotely similar to a piece of consumer electronics that you could buy, we didn't. We knocked it right out. And also anything having to do with children or putting a lithium polymer battery on a child who is not old enough to communicate that it is being burned. So if you're wondering why you weren't selected and you had one of those kinds of things in your proposal, that would be that was why. Or anything with GPS, because Gemma can't do
your
GPS.
kid melting project.
Yeah,
didn't
kid
make the cut.
melting. No
Sorry.
kid melting, and no emergency or life depends on it projects. But these are all very very fun, creative. We're probably going to see a lot of cool ways to diffuse neopixels, and a lot of things that can go on to win prizes. I know that Claire enters an Easter bonnet parade every year, and so she's going to be all set for next spring. And I hope that we can see these projects go on and win more prizes.
Okay.
Like that Easter bonnet prize.
Next up on the blog, big news for Adafruit today.
Yeah, why don't you hit this one?
Okay, so every single year, if your company grows, you have the opportunity to submit basically your finances and your staffing and all the things you do. So Adafruit's been growing, doubling and tripling, and since 2010, we've been growing. We used to be an apartment, now we're in this factory space. We have more factory space, and so the Inc. 5000, the Inc. 500, is a way for companies to see how they're doing if they're a fast-growing company and if they're privately held. So we don't have any loans, we don't have any venture capital. We're not owned by anyone else. It is 100% lady engineer owned. That's Adafruit. And so we don't know what's going to happen when we send off all this stuff. Last year we were around 1,000 out of 5,000 companies, fastest growing in the U.S. And then this year we got some really big news, and this just came up on the blog today. So out of the 5,000 companies in Inc. 5000, we're number 570. And that's in the USA of fastest growing companies. And then how's
Justin's Nut Butter doing?
I don't know if they're in there. I think they might be owned by another company. I don't know,
Did they get
because they were one of the
entrepreneur.
Justin was one of the 14 guys that was up against Lady Ada for Entrepreneur of the Year. So I eat their nut butter; it's pretty good. But for Inc. 5000, the big news that we were kind of surprised about is out of all the companies under the manufacturing category, Adafruit is number 11 out of 20 in the USA for fastest growing privately held manufacturing companies.
So that includes all kinds of manufacturing too.
It does. It's either really great news or also, we probably need more people manufacturing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a manufacturer in Soho, New York City, which is very weird. There's a lot of other manufacturing companies. Also, this is about growth. You could have a very successful company, but not growing very much. So this is all about fast growth, U.S. companies, privately held, and we're really excited. And thank you everyone out there. This is because of our community and customers, and because of all the hard work of all the employees and everyone at Adafruit. So there's some celebrations and recognition that we're going to have, and thank you, everybody. So that was our big news.
It's awesome.
Okay, next up.
This is also awesome. This is Leslie's Hunger Games dress. So she went to this event and she wanted to dress up like this fire dress from Hunger Games, and so she put NeoPixel strip in the petticoat all the way around, and then she added an effect when she twirls for it to animate the strips of NeoPixels.
What's cool is you can't really ignore this dress.
No, you can't.
No, you participate in the same space as the dress, but that dress is front and center, and what a cool thing.
Super neat. Nice job,
done,
Leslie. You can read more about it on the blog. She describes how she made it. There's some pictures and why she made it, and it's so cool.
Okay, next up.
This is a customer project sent in by Raheel. He and his wife wanted to make a project for their 3-year-old daughter, and so this is a purse with NeoPixels and a NeoPixel ring on it. Super fun way to get your little kid. Like, I think little kids are really attracted to things with LEDs on them, and I think that having something like this as a little kid really strongly imprints. Even if you didn't, like, if you made it with the kid watching, I know 3-year-olds are a little young to be soldering, but imprints upon them like this cool thing. I remember I had light up sneakers when I was, or maybe did I never have them and just wish I had them? Like light up sneakers, LA lights when you walk, the light up sneakers, and like made a really strong impression that like that kind of thing is really cool. And so growing up, I always thought that like learning how to do stuff with LEDs was really cool, and I think that had a strong impression. So hopefully that is what will happen here, but also it's just really fun looking and fun to play with.
Okay, next up.
Keep them coming, your customer projects. This is this week's project. We're going back to school. We know that Trapper Keeper is a thing. I had a Trapper Keeper that looked not too dissimilar from this kitty cat folder that I picked. That's why I picked it, to do some Chibitronic circuit stickers.
Yeah.
So we have a video. You can just watch it.
Let's watch the video.
Hey everybody, let's get back to school. Today I want to show you how to add lights and effects to your school binder with Chibitronic circuit stickers. All you'll need is a Chibitronics kit, some print-at-home templates, and a pair of scissors. Print and fold up the paper battery holder and add some copper tape as connections. Since this folder is clear, you can slide the template in behind it and build the circuit using copper tape on top. I'm adding a light sensor to activate my circuit when I open the binder, but you can customize your design by combining different templates, all available as free downloads. I'll put a link in the description to the full tutorial. When you're done, remove the templates and test it out. You can also switch up the battery flap to turn the circuit completely off. What are you building for back to school? Tell me in a comment, and if you like this video, subscribe for more Adafruit projects.
All right. Okay.
So you can do this to your school supplies: folder, Trapper Keeper, binder, whatever, and then it's all protected inside. I think you guys could get really creative with this and do some cool like ground effects, all kinds of, like make it light up your locker or light up when you open a certain folder. And all of the resources on the Chibitronics site are really good. There's all these templates you can print out, and then you can just draw right on top of them.
Yeah.
There's the variety of sensors and components is very wide. Like the things you can do. There's like a touch sensor one, and you can make it so that when you touch a certain thing, it repeats the pattern that you tapped.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of cool light shows you can do.
And this is too cool, but it's not too cool for school because you can still do something with school, even though this is still very cool.
It's just cool enough for school.
Yeah.
There's also no modules that make sound. There's a sound sensor, so like when there's a loud sound, it would trigger an action, but they're all lights, so they're not like so bright like NeoPixels that they're gonna disrupt your classroom. If you wear this to class, I think your teacher might have an issue.
Maybe.
But if you
unless you get a cool glowing dinosaur school.
Right, or it's Halloween, but I mean, or you could leave it off. But I just mean that like the LEDs that are in the Chibitronics kits they're not disruptively bright for a classroom setting. And it is a fun thing you can do together in your computer science class or arts and crafts class or art class or after school clubs and stuff. So if you're looking for a cool way to jazz up your school supplies, I know I used to always customize my book covers with, I draw on them and make like out of grocery bags and then draw on them. I think that these things might be a little fragile for the outside of your book cover because they might They're just stickers, but
Okay,
maybe
inside.
on the inside of your book cover. And I'd love to see what you make with them. So.
Okay. Well, if you want to buy these and save some money, use back to school. That's the code. 11:59 p.m. tonight expires.
You
Get
can
on
buy
it.
one of every Chibitronics kit that we carry and get 10% off all of them.
Yep. Okay. Component of the week.
Okay, this is where we show you a component and talk about why we like it. I can't believe we've overlooked this for so long. It is my favorite battery, the CR 2032 coin
Yeah.
cell. It's great, 3.3 volt lithium coin cell battery, single time use.
Yeah. What could you use it for? Oh.
It is included in the Adafruit beginner LED sewing kit.
Yeah.
Comes with some battery holders you can stitch to. It's great for being the GPS fix battery. So when you have a Flora GPS project, you can put the coin cell battery on, which keeps your location in memory even when the
going.
power is out. So you can turn
Yeah.
the project off, and then when you turn it back on, you will get a fix more quickly because it'll remember the last satellites it checked in with, or remember your location from last time.
Handy.
Handy.
Okay.
You can use it inside this teeny tiny little EL wire inverter. So if you wanted to make the glowing Chuck Taylor All-Stars sneakers, this is the inverter we use for the tiny little star of EL panel.
Okay.
So they're small enough to put, and it can power like a very short piece of EL wire. So perfect for shoes, gloves, hats,
Okay.
neckties. It fits inside these coin cell battery breakouts that we have with a little switch on there. If you want to if your project only has LEDs or only it doesn't have a microcontroller. Well, although this will work to power, not for very long, but it'll work to power like a trinket.
Okay.
But if you don't have any microcontrollers, this thing is perfect for just LEDs. Likewise, this 2 holder has a little switch on it, and it's perfect for Gemma and like 4 or 5 neopixels or 5 to 7 sequins for like 2 hours. And you can just carry a couple replacement coin cells in your purse when you go out if this is part of your costume, and then change them out real quick. It's super handy for that. So if you need a lightweight, and that's a 6-volt holder. So if you need a lightweight small battery and you just have a tiny little project with a couple LEDs or a Gemma or trinket and a tiny quantity of neopixels, then you can use this. But it's also great for LED throwies, testing LEDs to see what color they are if you got them mixed up.
Yeah.
You can just sandwich them around the coin cell battery. So it's my
Okay.
favorite. If you'd like to buy some, you could use code back to school and get 10% off your CR 2032 batteries.
You've convinced me.
Did you not like those batteries before?
I was on the battery fence, and now I'm full battery in. Okay.
You might remember this silicone wire from a couple episodes ago when it was also our material spotlight. However, we have it in a new size. This is the silicone coated wire stranded in 30 gauge.
Yeah.
And we have it in 6 colors. The 26 gauge we have in 8 colors. And maybe we are getting more colors of this, but I don't
Look at
know.
the Brady Bunch slide you got going on here.
It's the story of the 30 gauge wire. And it comes in all 6 of these colors.
Yeah.
It's stranded, so it's great for being flexible in fabric applications. Conductive thread is only really good in very specific low moisture, low, touching itself applications. And so for all other applications where you need the wires to touch each other, they need to resist sweat or moisture or be outside, we recommend using a very flexible stranded wire, and this silicone wire is great for that. So this is thinner than the other kind. 30 gauge means the higher the number of gauge, the smaller the wire. So
Okay.
30 gauge is smaller wire than 26 gauge.
Yeah.
And these wires, the silicone sheathing, I think it's not originally intended to be for wearables applications. It's supposed to be for high temp and high voltage. So you can run pretty high voltage. Like you could use these for EL wire, high voltage, high heat, because the silicone sheathing won't melt as fast as the as other stuff. So it can handle a lot of power, maybe not a ton of amperage, but a lot of voltage.
I like that
high
it's flexible, but it gives a little structure to project. This is very good for wearables.
Yeah,
Probably why it's in this wearable show.
probably why it is
Yeah.
this week's material spotlight.
Yeah. All right. And
So you can get some. You get 10% off. It's only like they're only like 75 cents
Yeah.
for 2 meters, but you can still get 10% off, 7.5 cents off.
Marsha. Okay, so here, sorry, you do Brady Bunch slides. You get Brady Bunch jokes.
It's all right.
That's what you get.
You
Okay.
know?
All right. So back to school still code. All right. Question and answer time, Becky.
Okay, if you guys have questions and you want to win a Flora, the prize is usually a Flora. You can, though, if you ask your question, you could request a prize, and I would put your question on the whatever.
Think about it.
Requests would be listened to, not necessarily honored, but you can ask your questions right now if you want in the comments. I will queue your questions up for next week or the week after.
Okay.
Right now we have a big backlog, so
Okay.
I want to get to all of your questions. So if I don't answer it right away, you can ask it again or check back next week because I have a big buffer.
Okay.
Anyway, these are some questions.
All right, first question. I need to make something that reacts to impact or something similar. I'm guessing it'll be best to use the accelerometer.
You can use the accelerometer for an impact sensor. You can also use a piezo as an impact sensor, as in the MIDI drum glove project. So a piezo translates electrical energy into vibration or vice versa. So it can translate vibration into an electrical signal that you can measure. So if you look at the MIDI drum glove tutorial on the Adafruit Learning System, it uses the piezos as a knock sensor. You can also use, if it's in a shoe, you can use Velostat in the heel, like in the Firewalker sneakers. And yes, you can use an accelerometer, although it's the highest cost solution to your problem. Also the most sophisticated and gives you the most information as an impact sensor. Are you making an electronic punching bag?
Except, who knows? Maybe I can look through. When I look through, I can see it more, but
You can't see through that thing at all.
you don't know. You don't know. All right, next up. How do I use data gain from an accelerometer to be transferred to an Android device? It's for a sports-related chest pelvis angle measurement thing. Yeah, I got one of those. I need to transfer my data to Android too. Yeah. Maybe
You can
sit-ups
use
or something like
the
that.
Bluetooth, like a posture sensor sample code for it in our iOS app for UART. It's described in, actually I have an Android app that does this. The NRF, the a microcontroller like the Arduino Micro or the Flora or whatever hooked up to an accelerometer, then you can send information from the microcontroller and sensor through the Bluetooth module to your Android device.
Okay. Next up, knowing the boards as well as you do you think it would work if someone tried to have a laser tag setup that works using mainly, if not only, Arduino wearable? Adafruit wearable tech. I was thinking of Arduino when he was saying Adafruit stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, why not? Laser tag.
Yeah.
Laser tag.
Do a search for open source laser tag. Someone's tried to do this. And
Yeah.
also search our blog for Arduino laser tag. You could potentially do that. It just gets a little tricky because you have to detect the laser.
Yeah.
You can do it in a variety of different ways, but yeah, you can.
Yeah, we have lasers. We have a couple different kinds of lasers, so you could make not only the kind that would point from your person if you have a laser gun,
Yeah.
and then also the line type that would get
Yeah.
And then you recommended a photocell when we were talking
Maybe.
earlier.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
whatever.
Yeah.
Laser detector is something you'd have to play around with, and then
Yeah.
you could use an Arduino.
People are working
and
on it,
stuff.
so look for the open source laser tag.
Yes, but we
projects
sell
online.
lots of parts that would be suitable.
Okay, hey, is a 48-byte tag enough space to encode for the NFC ring unlocking thing? Sorry, it's an obvious question. I'm new to this.
Our tags in the store hold a lot more information than that, like 1 kilobyte of data, but I don't actually know. If your phone can scan the tag, then the tag is good for this project, because all it does in the tutorial I wrote about unlocking your phone with your nail polish tag is make the phone program. It says okay, scan the tag you want to use as your unlocking tag, and if your phone is capable of scanning that 48-byte tag, then sure, it should work, because you don't have to be able to write to it or anything. It's just
Okay.
yeah. So if you can detect it, you can use it to unlock.
What's up? Hi, Becky. I have a question about the Chameleon Scarf 2.0 project. You use these really neat 3D printed flexible diffusers on the LEDs to diffuse the light. Is there a place to source these diffusers if we don't have access to a 3D printer?
First of all, I think you probably know someone with a 3D printer. If you look around in your community resources, someone, probably your neighbor, or somebody at your local hackerspace.
Hackerspace, libraries, schools. You can go online and look for 3D print hubs, I think it's called, or 3D hubs.
Yep.
There is someone in your local area that probably has a 3D printer now.
Probably.
But
I play a little devil's advocate there. But
but what if there's not?
That if you're in the middle of the Sahara Desert and you live there and you do not have a 3D printer, but you have in the internet and conductive thread,
Very possible.
you don't have to use any thing to replace those diffusers with. The reason it is the Chameleon Scarf 2.0 is because of those diffusers. You could totally go with Chameleon Scarf 1.0, which just uses the ruffled knit scarf fabric to diffuse the LEDs. But if you're looking for more of an even diffusion, you can use like a polyester fiber fill and like sew little globs of it on top of the LEDs. You can also use like paper origami things, a sheer fabric kind of domed up over it. Lots of anything that is translucent and flexible will work for you.
Ping pong balls, cut a hole.
Oh yeah, totally. Ping pong balls.
Yep. Okay. The ping pong place closed around the corner. Did you know
Closed?
that? Yeah, it closed.
I've never been there.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, this is from Wim. I'm making a really overkill floor umbrella, but now run into power problems. I have a 4,400 milliamp hour lithium battery from your store, but only has enough power to power half of the NeoPixels I'm currently running. If I activate more in the code, the floor just stops working, and I have to actually hold the reset button to get my laptop to reprogram it. And I want to have even more LEDs and a sensor to remote control the project so it can be used on a stage show to show the mood of the actor. Is there a product in your store that is able to amp up the amp for my Uber floor umbrella? It's
Okay,
hard
dude.
words to say.
Okay, Wim. Why? Why do you need more LEDs than this? Why? This is so many LEDs.
Yeah. Now it's he's probably trying to make an LED bubble. It's not an umbrella after that.
Tether that to a freaking AC adapter.
Yeah.
That's a lot, dude.
You probably will need. By the way, like just to skip to the end of the chase with this. Yeah, you should probably power it with a wall thing, and like the actor could have the cord going down. But you have some other things.
I have some ideas. First of all, unadvisable. When I say in the tutorial, like, hey, this is a lot of LEDs, like a sane person would like build something smaller first, and then I don't know. If you were my student, speaking of back to school, I teach a class at SVA. If you were my student, I would say absolutely not. This is not allowed. Scale it back. But you can add another same-sized battery at the other end, or splice it in along the chain of NeoPixels to deliver more current. If you want to be able to reprogram, like what you're talking about right now is that it'll try to power them up and then it will reset your Flora because it's sucking too much power away from the microcontroller. If that's your issue when you're testing, you should lower the brightness to like 10%. There's in the NeoPixel library, there's a set brightness function, and you can, in the setup, set the brightness for the pixels to just be really low so that you can power them and test all your animations and stuff before you add that other battery.
In Blade Runner with the neon umbrellas, the actors had to have car batteries in their backpacks, and some of them got shocked because it was a rainy scene. Anyway.
So, I mean, the thing is, like, you're only going to get 2 amps max out of...
you need wires.
Out of like our USB battery packs that hold a lot of power but can only deliver 2 amps at a time. And then that could be like on a hip pack or something, and then wired up to the umbrella. So like you might be able to get around the like AC adapter wired tethered. If it's a stage performance though, I think you could get away with a big black wire.
Drop us a note with this Uber floor umbrella though. We'd like to see this.
Yeah, I would really like to see it. I mean, I could see, man, that's too many, dude. Good luck. Glad that's not my project.
Or not enough. You never know. You could just make the sun. Okay. All right. Ready to give away some stuff, Becky?
For being publicly ridiculed, I have entered you to win a prize.
No. He's pushing the boundaries. He's a pioneer.
He's
Icarus.
He's ignoring our advice, is what he's doing.
Icarus,
He's ignoring my advice and then asking me for my advice.
I know I'm not supposed to do the following, but following, I'm not supposed to.
There's another question in my folder that I'm like hovering over the delete button, and it's like about like, so I want to like go over what you recommend. What should I do? And it's like, don't do that. Okay, anyway, one of you will win a Flora. I could go off on these ranty things about overambitious first-time wearable electronics projects.
Yeah, there's a lot of last-minute Burning Man meltdowns going on right now.
Sorry, guys. Miriam, you win. Congratulations. With your laser tag question, you have won a Flora. Yay!
You can use it.
You can use it to make a laser tag system. If you would please email us at support@adafruit.com to claim your prize. I will also reach out to you. It looks like this was a comment on the blog, so we have your email. Okay. And congratulations.
All right.
If you would like to win a prize in the future, just ask a relevant wearable electronics project that either is, would be useful for everyone to hear, or makes me so angry that I need to publicly vent about it.
You just get worried. Because you imagine you're that person doing this project with this big deadline and like the stage, the curtain's
Yeah.
open and then the Florabella just doesn't do anything because the power wasn't right and you're just like,
Only
oh my
half
God.
the neopixels light
and,
up.
and the spotlight's on you and you're like, oh my God, and the theater closes and it's all your fault. And maybe I'm just projecting. Anyways, so if you want to build your own giant Flora umbrella and save some money on some neopixels, use the code back to school, 10% off.
If your project doesn't have enough neopixels, as opposed to too many.
More. Yeah. Okay, that's the show.
We're right on time, too.
Yeah, that's the show. I'm going to wear this for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to do payroll next week.
Eyes on payroll.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back again next week at the same time for more wearable electronics. If you have a project you made that you'd like to show off, you can come tonight to the show and tell at 7:30
Yeah,
on
that's right.
Google Plus Hangouts on Air. If you're not already
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
If you're not already in the show and tell circle, you have to comment to be added, and then you'll get invited to all future show and tells. Following show and tell at 8 o'clock Eastern is Ask an Engineer with
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Lady Ada.
Yeah, 5-year celebration. Doing it for 5 years. 5 years, the longest running live electronic show. Whew.
And best. And only. Still and only.
Yeah.
Still and only.
Yeah.
So lonely.
One day we'll be dethroned. One day.
That will be a nice day
Yeah,
when there's
I would like to
when there's
watch. I would
laughs.
like to watch a weekly electronics show live.
Instead of having to do them all.
I would like to watch one, but instead we do one.
Tomorrow, there is one that you get to watch because it's
That's right.
on Thursdays and you're not on it.
That's right.
Unlike all of the other shows.
That's right.
I'm not on it either. It is the 3D printing hangouts with Matt Griffin and Noe and Pedro Ruiz.
That's right.
It's at on 3D Thursdays at 3
Yeah.
Eastern Time. And they've been showing off some really cool things, including how they modeled the
Yeah.
files for the head-mounted display and prototype, and so you can learn some CAD, get inspired
Yeah.
to make some 3D models.
Hands down, if you like 3D printing, this is, and I don't mean because it's the only show. It is the best 3D printing show because they show a lot of the things. And I think you and I always talk about this. We're in the same boat. 3D printing wasn't really that interesting, I think, until kind of Adafruit style projects started happening for us.
Yeah. Speaking
now-
of which, I have
yeah.
a coming soon. The
Ooh.
3D printing project. Look, it's got a little
at
face.
that.
It's got a little face on it. It's my UV manicure lamp. So
Right.
we got UV LEDs in the store, and like, what else are you gonna make for it besides like a black light for your Bob Marley poster? Well, you can make a lamp that cures UV nail polish, which is my favorite kind of nail polish because it's super durable. And Noe modeled up this little guy,
Yeah.
which will be a coming soon
Okay.
Wearable Wednesday project.
Yeah.
Adafruit Electronics and 3D printing for doing your nails. Who knew? Coming soon, and it has a face on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for watching.
See everybody next week.
Have a great week.
Bye bye.